Good morning, everyone, and welcome into Wake and Take. It's your boy Jason, and we have some football to talk about today. It's Monday, and it's not just any Monday. It's the Monday after the Super Bowl. The football season is over, and we have to talk about it. So, without further ado, go ahead, take out your coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome in everyone here on Instagram, in the YouTube live chat. Glad to see you all this morning. And I have to ask, before we even go any further, I would be remiss. I hope you all had a good Super Bowl. I would love for you to chat maybe about your experience, how you thought the game went, all that stuff. We'll talk about it. I want this to be a collaborative episode on this Super Bowl. It was a good game at the very least, and I think it was enjoyable, hopefully for a lot of us. Also, if you could drop a comment on your favorite snack from the day. For me, it was buffalo chicken dip. I don't know if it's just a Southern thing. I'm sure it's made its way around at this point, but buffalo chicken dip is easily the best dip in the world. And the fact that it's usually at a Super Bowl party means that it's getting destroyed by this fellow right here. I even got buffalo chicken dip one of the nights we went out to eat at the Senior Bowl last week or 2 weeks ago at this point. I love myself some buffalo chicken dip. So that was my Super Bowl meal. You guys tell me yours. But let's talk about the football game, because it was a football game, right? It was actually a really good football game. Nice classic football game. The score's going to end here, of course, 25-22 after going to overtime. But how did we get there? How did we get there? We started with a very, very slow first quarter, 0-0, before we get the longest field goal in Super Bowl history, made by none other than rookie kicker Jake Moody. Now that record eventually goes later in the Super Bowl to be beaten by Harrison Butker, who then makes a 57-yard field goal later in the game. So I thought that it was very interesting that we get the same record broken twice in the same game. I feel like that is very interesting and important to note. So sorry to Jake Moody for losing your record, and congratulations to Harrison Butker for getting it. And then we kind of, we have this weird, it's 3-0. And then it becomes 10-0 after Jauan Jennings throws a touchdown pass to Christian McCaffrey, who looks explosive as hell and scores off of the reception. It's Brock Purdy to Jauan Jennings to Christian McCaffrey. Who would have thunk it? No one is the answer. And Jauan Jennings gets his first touchdown of the day, eventually getting a second touchdown. That is right. Jauan Jennings had 2 touchdowns in this game. 2 touchdowns for Jauan Jennings. If the 49ers had won this thing, I think that Jauan Jennings would have won the Super Bowl MVP based on maybe if Christian McCaffrey scored another touchdown in the overtime or something, he would have won it. But, if it just ended in regulation, we might have been sitting here this morning talking about a Jauan Jennings Super Bowl MVP performance, as he has not only the touchdown pass, but he gets a reception later to take the 49ers up 17-13. In between that, though, we did have some interesting football. We had a big play from Marcus Valdes-Scantling for some reason. We get a touchdown catch going on to the Chiefs. And kind of going back and forth. I did just want to mention the third quarter for the 49ers, as it was rough. The 49ers go into halftime up 10 and get the ball, too. They get the ball. They're able to come out, and they just go 3 and out. In fact, they get an interception off Patrick Mahomes within scoring territory, and all they really need is like 10 yards to get a field goal, but they go 3 and out because they pass the ball too much. They get the ball back, and they go 3 and out off of 3 straight passes, not running the ball with Christian McCaffrey. They get the ball again in the third quarter and go 3 and out with only 1 run straight up the middle from Christian McCaffrey. Then on defense, that next drive, after 3 straight 3 and outs by the 49ers, they stop the Chiefs, about to get the ball back, and then the ball bounces off a 49ers blocker, a punt blocker. And it's technically a muff pump, and the Chiefs get it. That's how they end up scoring their touchdown. But nothing went right for the 49ers in the third quarter. We start to see the Kyle Shanahan cracks begin to form at this point. And it's just really all downhill from there for the 49ers, really. They get that touchdown, but the Chiefs score, and At that point, it's the it's the Kyle Shanahan collapse as usual, as we've gone to see in the Super Bowls from him. There's a lot to talk about here, actually. So we'll start with Dre Greenlaw. He gets injured in this game, and on the sideline, right? Dre Greenlaw gets injured on the sideline, about to run out to start the play, and he tears his Achilles, so heart goes out to him. That's a big moment in this game. Really helps the Chiefs be able to mount a comeback and not have the best, second best defender on the 49ers, really just the heart and soul of the 49ers defense. Maybe not best player, but Dre Greenlaw's, the hoorah guy out there, so losing him was a big blow. Anyway, though, so there's that. Mecole Hardman catches the game-winning reception. Mecole Hardman catches the game-winning reception in this game. Imagine being a Jets fan, right? At the beginning of the season, and you hear that Mecole Hardman catches the game-winning Super Bowl reception. Jets fans would be so excited to hear that. But, of course, we know the season plays out the way it does, and he ends up back on the Chiefs and somehow gets the game-winning reception. The funniest part about this is that at the end of the game, in the celebration, Mecole Hardman just says that he blacked out when he caught the ball and doesn't even remember it, and then just kind of walks away. He's just like, I blacked out and don't even remember that, so... And it just kind of gives up. That's all he could say about the game-winning catch. And I think that's hilarious because, of course, Mecole Hardman blacked out. If that guy was fully there, he wouldn't have caught the ball. No way he catches the ball if it's actually Mecole Hardman. But Patrick Mahomes snapped his fingers, made him black out, and perhaps possessed him to catch that ball wide open in the end zone there to win the game. To get to that point, though, the 49ers made a big mistake. We talk about Kyle Shanahan collapsing, and that's really what he did in the game. We talked about the third quarter where they failed to run the ball with Christian McCaffrey despite him playing so well and continuously go 3 and out before eventually the weird muff punt. But then, of course, also here in overtime, they win the coin toss and forget that the Super Bowl rules are different for it, right? The playoff overtime rules are different, that both teams get the ball even if there's a touchdown. And so I think he forgot that, elected to get the ball, and they go down and they just kick a field goal, hoping that they can stop the Chiefs. But you should know, right? You should know that if you're giving the ball back to the Chiefs, they're going to win this thing. And I'm honestly surprised that the Chiefs didn't do it in regular time. I thought with that minute left when they go down to get the field goal to tie it, I thought, hold on. We're in the end of the fourth quarter with 6 seconds left. You're in goal-to-go territory. You just ran a play with 9 seconds left, and it only took 3 seconds for that play to happen, and you still have a timeout. So first off, I'm mad at the Chiefs because they had at least one more play in the bag before they kicked that field goal. They 100% could have taken one more shot to the end zone to try to score a touchdown and not even take it to overtime. They had the timeout. They had 6 seconds, which is plenty. I know it's right on the edge there, but you could totally get a quick pass, drop, call a timeout if it's not a touchdown, or just score the touchdown, or throw it away and kick the field goal. So anyway, that pissed me off. And then also the 49ers kneeing it kind of pissed me off. You should try to run a play. I know you want to get to overtime at that point, but it's the Super Bowl. Try to win this thing. And I am curious, guys, maybe one of you guys could leave a comment here. Should the 49ers have gone for it on 4th and 4 in overtime instead of kicking the field goal? I think that I'm in the camp that they were smart to kick that field goal, if I'm going to be honest with you. I know a lot of people out there say they should have gone for it and, know that the Chiefs were going to go down and probably score a touchdown. But that's not the case on how that's gone really this whole game, right? I mean, for the most part, this had been a defensive game. I don't know. I think it's smart to kick the field goal, but I've seen a lot of controversy there, so I am curious on what your guys' thought here. Maybe I could hear what people are thinking there. But yeah, positive graphs, you just kick that field goal. You just kick that field goal. I think it's become a little bit more controversial than it should. I think that was the right decision, and you just got to kind of hope on the defense there. 4 yards is a lot, especially as I just mentioned, with the defenses playing as well as they had on really the whole game. So we talked about really everything in this game. Jamie has a funny point that before the season, Hardman was with a psychic who predicted him in the Super Bowl versus the 49ers. He never said Jets. He just said you. That's pretty awesome that they said you'd catch the game-winning reception against the 49ers. That's interesting. If that's actually true, then I've got to go find that. Jamie, maybe put that link in there or whatever. That I feel like I'd read something about that. But you know how much news I consume from this point. I think Wake and Take is nearing its year anniversary. I don't even want to think about how much news I've news and rumors and whatever I've consumed over this year of wake and taking with you guys. But anyway, I would love to see that again. That is a very cool thing. So we've talked about really everything in this game, but not really how we got here, right? We go into the beginning of the season, right? And the Chiefs have lost offensive line with Orlando Brown leaving. And then they have no wide receivers that are good. And they skirt through the regular season and then show up in the playoffs. And you have to ask yourself, can you trust Kansas City Chiefs in fantasy football next season? And the answer is yes, but you've got to adjust to the ADP. And I don't know if Patrick Mahomes is ever going to be a fantasy football star, kind of like how Tom Brady was never really a fantasy football star. I think that this is going to be the Chiefs' blueprint for years going forward. Just kind of win your games in the regular season, but make sure that you stay healthy for the playoff push. Now, it is possible. It is possible that this strategy was a lot based on Travis Kelce's health and mostly wanting to keep him healthy. There's still the argument out there that if the Chiefs bring in some wide receivers this offseason, that their offense will be able to score more points and be the Chiefs' offense of old. But I don't really know. With the defense playing as well as they are, they just don't need to score as many points in the regular season. And I think that at the very least, we have to have kind of a discussion about where we would be drafting these Chiefs next season. Of course, Travis Kelce is not going to be a first rounder. And I've already seen Patrick Mahomes be the third or fourth quarterback taken in drafts, which I think is reasonable. So then it becomes, how high should we draft Rashee Rice and how high should we draft whatever wide receiver they bring in? That's what we'll begin to discuss this offseason. But I do just at least want to say we've got to be, cautious when we're drafting our Kansas City Chiefs, trading for our Kansas City Chiefs next season, as I really do think that this is going to be their blueprint for years going forward, because they are going after this three-peat. As we know, Travis Kelce didn't propose to Taylor Swift after this game, and I think that's because he's waiting for the three-peat, right? He wants to win the Super Bowl next year and do it, add some more time under that relationship belt before getting that proposal underway. So maybe that's the plan for the Chiefs. Get the third ring, then propose to Taylor Swift for Travis Kelce. But either way, I think that we're going to be talking about this Chiefs team for years and years and years, as they are officially a dynasty. They don't need Travis Kelce. It all is Patrick Mahomes, and to a certain degree, Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo. I don't know why that's always so hard to say. This Chiefs team, they're a dynasty. And so the question becomes, is Patrick Mahomes the GOAT? Let's look at his resume. Is Patrick Mahomes the GOAT? Well, Patrick Mahomes is 15-3 in the playoffs, which is just remarkable. He's now won 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. And in his first 6 seasons, he has gone to the AFC Championship every single year with 6 straight AFC championships. He's won Super Bowl MVP in all 3 of his Super Bowls. He's the first back-to-back Super Bowl winner in almost 20 years. He's 8th in playoff pass yards, 5th in playoff pass touchdowns. He's already won the MVP 2 times. And I think if you were to ask me what quarterback is the best quarterback of all time, the most talented quarterback of all time, I think the answer has to be Patrick Mahomes. If I am building an NFL team and I get to pick any quarterback in their prime, it's probably going to be Patrick Mahomes. And I think that that's going to be the answer for 100% of people, if I'm going to be honest with you. This guy really does do it all. I know he's not the best scrambler in the world, but he's a really good scrambler. And he's also, of course, got probably the best arm in the league. Insanely accurate, insanely powerful, can throw it super deep. He's really good at improvising. I mean, the guy is what you want in a quarterback, especially if you can't get that wide receiver core to where you need it. And what helped with Tom Brady a lot was the fact that he didn't have to be paid a lot of money, and that opened up some stuff for the rest of the roster to be good. But that's not the case with Patrick Mahomes. He takes up a ridiculous amount of the team's salary and still carries the Chiefs year in, year out, bringing them to the finish with the number 2 seed this year, actually 3, and win in the playoffs. And that's just what Patrick Mahomes does. And that's what Tom Brady did his entire career. So you have to ask, well, if Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback of all time, Jason, if you're building a team and you want Patrick Mahomes, is he your GOAT? No! All you have to do is look at Madden 18 and see that it's the GOAT edition with Tom Brady on the cover. Tom Brady is on the cover of the GOAT edition of Madden. Not Patrick Mahomes, it's Tom Brady. And I know that Patrick Mahomes has a fantastic resume. But do you know who else won 3 Super Bowls before they turned 29? Tom Brady. You know who else won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years? Tom Brady. You know who else won 3 Super Bowls in their first 6 seasons in the league? Tom Brady. You know who else has won 3 Super Bowl MVPs? Tom Brady, who's won 5. You know who else was the last back-to-back Super Bowl winner? Tom Brady. You know who else has won 2 MVPs? Tom Brady, who's won 5. You know who else has gone to 6 straight AFC championships? Tom Brady, who went to 8 straight AFC championships. And you know who has played against Patrick Mahomes twice in the playoffs and beaten him both times? Tom Brady, who's beaten Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl and in the AFC championship. Tom Brady is the GOAT really forever. But we'll start with for now. Tom Brady is the GOAT for now as Patrick Mahomes builds out his resume. Could Patrick Mahomes be the most talented quarterback of all time? Sure. But the greatest of all time is a different conversation. It takes into account a lot more things than just how talented you are on the football field. And that's why Tom Brady's the GOAT, because he's the greatest. He's won all those Super Bowls. He's done this on multiple different teams. He's done this with multiple different wide receivers. He's done this with different offensive lines, with bad defenses, with good defenses. Tom Brady is the greatest to ever do it for now. For now. I would not be surprised if, Patrick Mahomes plays for 20 seasons and also has 7 Super Bowls, right? I mean, it's not hard to believe. Patrick Mahomes is an unbelievable quarterback, and I would probably say he's second in this conversation. I think with this Super Bowl, he has passed Joe Montana, but he is not the GOAT yet. It's Tom Brady.
Hey, I want to take a moment to thank you for tuning in. It's important to me that all of our media be free. This is only possible because of you allowing a true independent sports media enterprise to thrive unlike any other in the business. So please subscribe to the All In Package to continue to make all of this possible, to ensure that all of our stats, information, data, content is available to you, especially you, the people that get the site and get the show.